Hey guys, this is Nicole, and this is my weekly stream where I talk about all things like technology, marketing, business. And this week and next week, because this has got to be a two-parter, apparently I have a lot to say about it, is going to be about iterating toward better and better content for your marketing, your online marketing in particular. Now, most of us have to do our own marketing, some kind of amount of DIY, because we either can't afford to have a video crew follow us around all the time, or maybe we just have an interest in starting a podcast and it's something we've always wanted to do. And having a business gives us kind of an excuse to really do it. And when people get to this stage, they contact me about very detailed questions. What kind of microphone should I buy? How long should it be? And these are good questions, but I feel like they're sort of secondary questions because what you really want to do is try some stuff and figure out what works well for you. And to be honest, if you wait to post that video until it looks like a video crew came and did it for you, you're never going to post your own video content. And if you don't believe me, go back and you think about your favorite, YouTube person, think about your favorite podcaster, think about your favorite Instagrammer and scroll all the way back and look at the first things that they uploaded and then look at where they're at now. I guarantee you they're not in the same place. And it's not because they were too lazy to learn it in the beginning or that they didn't want to invest in the equipment. It's that they didn't know what worked for them until they tried it, until they got feedback from their audience, and until they themselves got more comfortable creating the content. You see that probably that confidence come through. You see that format that's really solid. They didn't have that at the beginning. I think Ira Glass has a really good quote, which I'll put on the screen here, about sort of how you have to basically create a bunch of stuff that sucks to like get at your art. Um, I'm totally, um, I'm totally shortcutting that whole thing, but you get the idea, which is that we have to just get comfortable with the fact that, we're like a little kid drawing where we have this picture in our head and we just can't quite put it on the paper the way that we want it to. And that's okay because the only way we'll ever get there is if we actually practice drawing. I know you want it to be good because it's your business, but the thing is, no one is expecting perfection here. Your customers aren't, other people just aren't. Okay. I'm just telling you that. And I can tell you that as somebody who creates imperfect videos all the time, in particular over the last 6 months. And it's funny because one of my friends was like, wow, you've really stepped up your video content. And the reality is, I am putting forth the same amount of effort, if not less effort, than I was 6 months ago. I'm just getting more comfortable at it. So, this video series is basically going to be like how to try stuff, but maybe not start from, I guess, as bad a place as I started from. That's all I can guarantee you. I'm not a professional video producer or sound engineer or anything. If you need those kind of things, I can recommend people. I am just a gal with a dream who doesn't mind a little DIY. And if you're watching this, that probably speaks to you on some level. So today I've got 3 tips, and next week I'll have 3 tips with iterating toward better and better content so that, like I said, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from a better place than most people with these 3 tips. Well, 6 in total, but 3 today. So the first thing you can do is eliminate distractions. So if what I've done is I've actually turned my desk to face a wall, and because I didn't feel like taking down my giant map, I just found, I'm going to show you behind the curtain. I found some white paper to go over it. That's also why I'm letting like the light kind of wash me out a little bit so that that's less noticeable. Looks like I'm coming at you from heaven. Just kidding. But point being is if you kind of make your background neutral, it can help people pay attention to what you're saying. If you have like a weird cord coming from behind you, or if there's a bunch of stuff on a table behind you, when you're talking to someone, you're kind of subconsciously trying to figure out, oh, what is that cord for? Or, oh, what's on their table? Like, in this way, like you have to kind of pay attention to me, like in a good way, I think. So if you can eliminate distractions, if you don't have a wall and you just have stuff behind you, a trick I've seen done is people will get those foam boards, like when you used to have a science project, and you had a poster and you got these boards and you like did your science fair presentation. You can get those boards. They're like less than $1 each at like a dollar store or craft store or, a general like Walmart kind of thing. And you can get contact paper or shelf liner, which is essentially like a big sticker of some neutral pattern. And you can stick like all three together using the contact paper and just kind of prop that in your background. So my particular computer doesn't do virtual backgrounds. It doesn't have enough processing power to do that. So those are some ways to work around that. And if you're doing sound stuff, you just want to edit out, obviously, the background noise of wherever you're at. And if you think the room is silent until you're sitting with headphones editing. So what most people do is if they're like just recording themselves talking, they'll record and they'll pause for 5 seconds and just get the baseline of the room. And then they can take that and edit it later. So just think about what can be distracting and how can I limit it? The second thing is to give yourself some material to work with. And I'll give you some examples of this. So let's say that you're doing a video for your business. It's really tempting, in particular, if you're not very comfortable on video, to just set it up, do it, and then get out of there. But while you're at your business, while you are like in video mode, why don't you just get some B-roll of like what the inside of the business looks like, what the outside of the business looks like, get stuff from different angles, get some product, get some product video, gets like maybe like a staff checking out a customer, obviously with both of their permission. So get some stuff like that to work with, because what you might find is as you're editing the video, you might think, oh, it would be really nice if there was some footage to kind of break this up. Or, oh, I noticed that I was looking down at my notes for this like 10-second period. It would be nice to have a piece of video to overlay on this. And by giving yourself some material, you're giving yourself options, even if you don't use them for that particular video. Now, if you're going to be creating content, video content, you're going to have this library of stuff that you're able to access. So find things like music clips, sound effects. Maybe you want some backdrops that you're going to potentially use for your videos or photography. So like kind of collect that stuff, because rather than working from a place of lack where you have like this one file that you took and it kind of works and you're trying to make it work, instead you're like, oh, I have all these things I could work with. It feels a lot better and it feels a lot more creative. Don't feel like you necessarily have to work with stuff that you just create yourself, but just give yourself some material to work with. I find it feels better. Even if you end up not using it, you'll be glad that you have it. And the final thing I'll say is just give yourself a format that you're going to commit to for like a month. So if you're doing a weekly live stream, obviously that would be, something you'd use like 4-ish times. If you're doing a daily Instagram update, that's 30, but just something that will allow you to not be like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? And it'll also give people who are watching you a way to kind of see what you're doing and give some feedback on it. So for example, I had a podcast with a friend for 2 years, and this was our format when we first started. We had a little catch-up type session. We did an interview with a local person that was interesting, and then we did a local recommendation, usually on some kind of theme. Now, some of the interviews one of them literally went for 2.5 hours. But we had a format. We had to fit in 25 minutes. So that was just some editing stuff. But point being, if you commit to a format, you'll have enough time to see if it works. And also people will sort of get it after the second or third time that they see it. You just might get feedback in unexpected places. So, but at least committing to a format, you're trying something and you're allowing yourself kind of some constraints on your creativity so that you can come up with stuff. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next week to talk a little bit about 3 more things I think are part of iterating toward better and better content. If you have any questions or ideas you want me to tackle, I'm going to put my email on the screen right now. Just send me an email and I will, hopefully address your topic at some point. Maybe not right away, but because you've got some stuff kind of planned, but I'm always looking for new ideas. So thank you so much for watching again. Have